Yeah, this is one of our a previous cCHALLENGE participant who's called Marte, and she once wrote this on a pancake. Imagine what we can do if 7.7 billion people truly believe that their action makes a difference. And that kind of sums up what we want to do with the cCHALLENGE. We want people to realize that their actions do make a difference and they matter. And with sustainability in cCHANGE, we talk a lot about transformation, and that can be defined in different ways. But what we like to, or one of the definitions that we really like is this, the powerful unleashing of human potential to commit, care, and affect change for a better life. So that's also what we're sort of getting into here with the cCHALLENGE at the big scale or big picture. And cCHALLENGE, it's a 30-day change experiment, as you know. And the core of cCHALLENGE, really, there's 3 elements that are the core. Is the idea of breaking habits or patterns, and it's experimentation with new alternatives and new ways of doing things. And it's an inquiry and a reflection around what is going on as you experiment with breaking a habit for 30 days. And how we want to show up with the cCHALLENGE, or how we view in cCHANGE, we see cCHALLENGE, or we want cCHALLENGE to be a space where people can get authentic experiences, that it's real and it's authentic, true to themselves, for each individual and as a group, that it's an authenticity in it. We want it to be a space where we can explore our full potential, and that's both for participants, that they can see how am I if I act out of my fullest potential, my fullest being, and in the world. But it's also about how we as project leaders or project everyone who's involved in the project, be it teachers or the local network or the students, that we can all explore this. And then we want it to be a space where we can explore our courage to do something differently, connected to this, that it's an experiment. It's so how can we have that courage to experiment with doing things differently for a period of time? And then we want this space to be a space of compassion for ourselves and for others, especially for the participants who will challenge themselves for 30 days. Compassion is a key component in that, so that it's not a space where they start to be too strict with themselves or with others, and that it's kind of a destructive space, but we need this compassion for ourselves too, and for others. And there are a few elements to cCHALLENGE. We have participants who commit to a personal sustainability challenge for 30 days. This is self-chosen. They choose a challenge that they want to do for 30 days that's connected to sustainability somehow. And then we share with them a transformative program. That's what we call it. It's basically a research-based coaching or a program that they follow throughout the 30 days, that gives them some reflection questions and insights into different perspectives on change and transformation and sustainability. And then the third element is the sharing of reflections, experiences, knowledge, and stories that the participants will be doing for those 30 days. They will share and reflect and tell their stories to each other and to the world. And this sharing is usually happening on both in the classroom, but also on a digital platform. So for now, it's definitely will be probably will be very digital, but also it can be combined with like conversations in a digital learning space, or yeah. So it's so this digital platform that we provide, where they can have their separate profile, where they can share their stories throughout the 30 days. So they create a profile and then they can, it's a blog kind of about their experience. And the transformative program that I talked about is, as I said, the content is meant to be an inspiration, sharing of information, reflection questions, and we'll look through different parts of the three spheres, so different sides, the different aspects of change for those 30 days. And this is delivered through SMS, and they get a link where they can click on it and are sent to the full transformative program that they can read. And it's about 3 minutes to read each post, sometimes shorter, and with reflection questions. And to give an insight into what the transformative program contains is that we focus on each week is a new kind of focus area. So we'll start with week 1 in what is we call the practical sphere. So this is about the behaviors and technical responses to climate change. So for the participants, it's focusing on habits and self-awareness, logistics and practical challenges of just getting into their new habit. So looking at the practical side of change. Then in week 2, we go into the political sphere, which covers systems and structures, cultures, things outside of that, how society is organized, and looking at how that affects your personal change and how you can possibly start to affect that back, or inspire or start to change those systems and cultures around you. So we'll talk about social norms and social and cultural norms, stories and narratives, as well as systems. And in week 3, we'll move into the personal sphere, where the underlying factors of how we organize our societies and what we do lies. So the beliefs and the values and worldviews and paradigms that we hold individually and also collectively, that affect how we see the problem, what kind of solutions we find, or and that's also where they might start to get deeper into why change can be difficult for them and for society, and also start to uncover some of the more maybe hidden ways to impact change or create change. And then in week 4, we look at the whole, look back on the whole experience and start to look at these things together, and summarize. And so in our experience with doing the cCHALLENGE with both schools and other groups, yeah, first and foremost, we wanted to share some of the experiences that one of the teachers in the Norwegian local network has shared with us, that through the cCHALLENGE, the students and teachers actually get to know each other in a new way. And the way that she's used it is that the project is not graded, so the student could experiment and they could fail and succeed without being afraid of it impacting their their grade. So she experienced that as a positive thing, that it was the project in itself was not graded, but with potential of doing something after that could be graded, like a paper or something on the full experience. And then that they could choose their own challenge that was motivating for the students, that they could pick what was important or what they cared about or what made sense for them. The students learned through experience, creativity, and curiosity. It was a good learning experience for them. And through the cCHALLENGE, the students also experienced the need for interdisciplinary knowledge and skills from different subjects to solve their challenge. So there's definitely like a space here to explore those interdisciplinarity. How is sustainability actually an interdisciplinary issue? And then because students could concentrate on one issue, being their challenge, that created a space for deep learning. They could give time and do research and reflect on that particular topic. So that was a positive thing as well. And not least, it was an opportunity for students to actually act on what they learn in sustainability, that they created a sense of agency for them to actually do something. And doing something and doing it for 30 days, that gave the students an experience of mastery. And we want to add to that is that this is not about being perfect or doing everything, or like a competition where they see who does it the best. It's that's one important element of this. We don't want them to think of that they're failing if they are not doing it every day, or something happens and they forget their challenge or things like that. That's actually a space for learning and growth. So if they feel like they fail or something happens, that they can actually reflect on that and learn from that. Maybe it's not about them, but the society around them that's not built for this challenge to succeed. So looking into those aspects of it. And they'll probably notice that social norms are quite powerful, that they that might impact what challenge they choose, and how they act with doing that challenge. If sometimes they don't want to do the challenge because they are afraid of how people will react to that. And also that supportive structures are important, which is what we'll cover then in the week 2 of looking at systems and structures around us. Is it actually possible for everyone on the planet to do this challenge that I've chosen? And then the key is reflection, or reflection is key. Giving them the opportunity to think about this and reflect and share and on action, so that action and reflection kind of goes hand in hand here. And we learn through stories is also something that we've seen, that people are inspired by each other's stories. So when they share on the digital platform or around the dinner table at home, and they share their stories of how it's been for them to, for example, not use plastic for 30 days. Those stories influence and impact people around them. So yes, we influence each other. And yeah, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The mind once stretched by a new idea never returned to its original dimensions." So that is something to be left with here. And with that quote in mind, or with that whole presentation in mind, I wanted to invite you all to think about this question. What is the greatest impact that this project can have for the students, the teachers, the school, and the world. So I'd like to give you just a minute to write down some immediate thoughts on that question, and then we can maybe share in plenary after, so that we can think of the greatest possible impact for this project together, and then look at the more practical stuff after.